Go out to read the plans. Right there.
Peg, I just want to confirm you can hear us loud and clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. All right, it's close enough to 7 o'clock. I'll call this meeting to order. Establish a quorum with all of us and Mike being alternate. And we can stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do you have any added agenda items?
We do. We have two.
All right,
They're both as of right determinations. John Grant, and the other from Darren Andrews.
all right, and that'll be added to the agent review and decisions section. Any other added agenda items? Motion to add those to the agenda.
So.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 1st of 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of December 1st, 2021.
Any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
New application to be received. We have
Rebecca, it's Peg. Could you just tell me who your second was on the approval?
that was Rick.
Yeah, we're sitting backwards tonight. just
Yeah,
to
I'm
match
sorry.
up.
New applications to be received. We have IWWA 3-2022 for 298 South Main Street. I don't know how to say that name, so I apologize.
Say that name? Arvind.
For the construction of a 1,500 square foot building and parking for automotive sales and repair, upland review area, stormwater discharge. Do you have anybody here to represent that application?
I don't see
Nobody's online.
Rob Arsenal.
So do we want to table that and hold that till later on?
Yeah, and if it's at the end, I could
Well,
go through it.
if he's not here, we'll just have to postpone it again.
Okay,
All right.
all right, so we'll just table that one. Moving right along, we have a public hearing tonight to adopt our official wetlands map. Remind me how we do on this public hearing, because it's been a while.
Yeah, make a motion to open the public hearing.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to open our public hearing.
I think Al made it, didn't
He was telling me what we needed to do because I couldn't
he? Oh,
remember.
pardon me, we'll make it.
I'm sorry, yeah, you're right. I make a motion to open the public hearing.
Okay, is there a second? Take seconds, all in favor?
Aye. Like that.
Okay, moving into our public hearing. Ruth, you want to share the screen?
All right, on the screen right now is our current official
Bless you.
wetlands map. It was filed with the town clerk in 1980. Uh-oh. In 1980. And so, it is a 1965 soil survey with the wetlands delineated on there. We don't actually use this. I have not referenced it once
Okay.
for administrative purposes. What we use is the GIS because we have the overlay of the property maps and We have the 150-foot setback, or not setback, but the upland review area. And so I think it makes sense to make that the official one because we're treating it as the official one.
Yes.
And certainly, certainly. Are we really needed to do? This is the same map. This one doesn't have the upland review, but this is what is depicted on the soil map, but it's 2019, so it's the data layer, as opposed to the 1965 soil map. And then we also have a version that has the upland review. So that's helpful on the GIS. You get the lot lines. I know they're askew a bit, but it does give the general sort of vicinity, and folks can go out and get the delineations they need. And then if we get this digitized, the idea is that we go back 10 years to permit applications that were granted, where delineations were performed, and add those delineations to the map layer. And then do that going forward. Just routinely update the delineations based on data coming in from applications.
Any comments, questions, or discussions from the board first? Yes, it does.
Kurt has a.
Go ahead, Kurt.
Rebecca, so this looks really good, and to go from what looked like a unbelievably detailed 65 map to something like this is quite a good accomplishment. I know Albert Grant asked for in the Conservation Committee, he asked for a soils map, and I think this is what he wanted. I did a Google search on something like this, and I came up with something a little bit different, but this seems to be fine. But the other one was more suited towards what kind of crops you could grow on certain.
That's the,
Yeah.
one of the primary soils. map.
Yeah,
So I don't know if that's what the town wants, or
this one.
even cares about, or whatever. Just a comment.
Okay,
So this one is based on soil type.
soil type, yeah.
Yep, so it is, the delineation is, so if we looked at the current one. I'm sorry. If we look,
I have two tabs open.
this one, right, it's hard to tell, but the, what you're seeing in green is really what's here.
The outline in black.
The heavy dark outline. of the- we'll just zoom in a little bit. See how the,
Oh, this has got all marked for the soils. This one.
yeah,
Mhm.
so it's all the soils, and then there's a
Yeah.
heavy bold
heavy
line
marks
around the
around the
wetland
wetlands.
soils.
Right.
So we basically, in the new version, it's this, so to the.
Outlined areas.
So in the new version, that data is digital, is it from like a
It's
like
coming
different table of
CTD. Kind of good.
CD, okay,
Mhm.
their soils maps?
Yeah.
And
From
they've
2019.
adopted, did they adopt the federal ones, or is that their own?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Source data.
Any other comments from the board? Any comments or questions from the public? Hearing none.
You sure?
Sure.
I think you got something to say.
Hearing none,
Go
I
for
would
it.
entertain a motion to, what are we saying, adopt, accept?
Probably
both
down
have
to
a-
some right word.
To close the public hearing.
Mr.
I
Joseph?
make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
So is there a specific title on this map? I guess I'd make a motion that we adopt the new Town of East Windsor Wetlands Map as included
Or
in our
official. The official.
Yeah.
official. Town of East
There's a
Windsor.
date on it down the bottom on the right corner where the title block would normally be, March of 2021.
Dated March 21.
Is there a second?
Second. No. Okay.
Peg did. The second can go to Dick. Any other comments?
Both got the same name.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Great. Motion passes. We have a new wetlands layer. All right, stop sharing your screen. Moving on, we have no continued public hearings. Moving on to new business is. Wait,
Yeah, I put it there.
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna- So the second new business is IWWA, the A is missing on that, by the way. 4-2022 for agent decision, former mill site 8 Mill Street. Remediation excavation activities to remove impacted soils noted during previous investigations. PCSA-8 and -4 areas on site excavations are confined to the upland review area. Who's here to talk about that one? You can come on up.
Sure.
And just state your name for the record when you get up here.
My name's Chris Van Arsen, and I'm with ACOM Environment. I'm happy to spell it if
You're good.
anyone. Okay,
Pretty sure we're all familiar with it.
very good. And sorry for giving you a mouthful of a title there.
That's okay.
So I believe, so I wasn't quite sure if I was going to be presenting on this or just given the status of the agent application. If it was more appropriate for Ruth to give a summary, I'm more than happy to just.
I did actually create a staff memo. If you want to continue and discuss, that's fine.
Sure, whatever you like.
Go ahead.
Sure. Okay, so as Ruth noted, so I'm Chris, I'm with ACOM. I'm here on behalf of Hamilton Sunstrand Corporation and the proposed activities.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
Sorry, Chris. What's that?
Go ahead.
All right. So we, about a year ago, we had submitted an agent approval request to do some investigations at the site located at 8 Mill Street, so just down the road. And this is to address some impacted soils. The site itself is located along Broad Brook, and the work that we're proposing currently is follow up to those investigations. And so it's the work itself is all located within the 150-foot upland review area. And essentially it's what's being proposed is an initial phase of the site remediation. So there's, you may have heard, but there's a larger remedial project currently in the design phases, but this is intended to address some impacts to this discrete area that we are calling PCSA 4 and 8. Others, not myself, named it. It's the engineers who came up with that one, but the work detailed here, again, following up on the boring work previously. So there's been impacted soils that have been identified. So this work would essentially involve going in, excavating the material, performing confirmatory samples to ensure that all of the impacted material had been removed, and then sending it offsite for appropriate disposal. And so we submitted the application accordingly. There'd be sedimentation erosion controls proposed around the work area. And, you know, there's, let's see, street sweeping is included as well. Tracking pads are included just, you know, just to keep it confined as much as possible to this remedial work site. So I'm happy to provide more info or maybe take pause there just in case there's any questions I can answer.
On that map, which of those is the white box, the green box? What's?
Certainly, yeah, sorry for not.
So if you want to bring it up so we can all see, it, we don't have it in our
Absolutely.
packets.
Yeah.
You have that. You should have
Yeah,
that.
we got it right here.
Yeah, that's the one. So
It's not.
So here's Mill Street down here, so oriented, north is up, Mill Street is here. This is the former entrance to the site. So we'd be using this existing access road and the work area kind of bisects this road. And so Broad Brook flows along, flows along the northern side of the site, takes a hard left turn and flows down along the western edge of the property. And so again, the work is pulling 150 feet off of the edge, excuse me, when they're at water, the banks of the brook. That's what puts us into the upland review area. And so to answer your question, tan is the upland review area, blue is the river itself. There's a handful of wetlands located on the site, but none of this work is going to be within either the brook or the wetlands themselves. All confined to the upland review area. All the work areas surrounded by estimating controls, and it's a relatively flat site. Ruth and I had a chance to get out there. I think it was maybe a month ago at this point.
Okay.
This is helpful.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the right way.
Are there any questions from the board?
The only thing I said, what you're excavating is going out of town.
Correct, yeah, so
That's-
either,
You get a gold star for that.
correct. So there's a laydown area here, it'd either be live loaded, it's sent directly offsite, or depending on the excavation, temporarily stopped out here and then go offsite, but the answer is yes.
Thank you.
After the excavation work, be backfilled to grade to match existing conditions, approximated existing conditions until that the site-wide remedial package progresses. But when this work is done, hopefully this year, we do need to go in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission as well. So this is kind of first stop through the town. But when this is done for this year, essentially approximate existing conditions be returned to level.
We're gonna try and do this in real dry months like July and August, hopefully, or September.
We get one.
If we get one. But,
That's right, it's been a bit of a.
It could be a little dampish around there this time of year.
We are,
No,
yeah, I
but
think
we went.
they're hoping for late summer, early fall
That was
excavation.
the idea.
Going down,
Hay fields are going all along the stream.
More
Just around there.
along the limits of the work area. So on this figure, it's this black and yellow. Yeah. exactly.
Everyone that much, huh? Wow.
you're going down fairly deep in one section. I see it's like 12 feet deep. But what's the typical depth you're going?
It varies and we've tried to simplify this. In fact, the plans that are going from the Planning and Zoning Commission are going to have a little more engineering detail, just to hit on that question, but it varies. I think it's sort of 8 to 12, as you said, feet, depending on sort of the horizons in which they've found the impacted materials. So I make it simple here, but it does vary throughout the site. And so after the excavation work itself, there will be confirmatory sampling to make sure that they got the extents sort of left and right, X and Y, and as well as these, as well as going down deep enough for it.
Do you envision or I don't know if it's possible to know yet, but like, would there be any pumping of those holes envisioned? And if there was, where's that water go?
Yeah, so
Guaranteed.
exactly. So it is, so this work is being designed by a licensed site professional. And so the remedial work, so the soils themselves will be going off site, the groundwater, they're looking at containerizing in frac tanks and either taking that off site or discharging. They're looking at the potential for discharge back to surface water under the remedial general permit of the state. So those are kind of the two options that they're considering.
Like after it's polished.
Correct.
separated and
Yeah.
polished.
What's that mean?
Runs with carbon. Charged.
Oh, so they
Like some sort of
remediated on
treatment.
site and let it go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
somebody test that water before it's gone, or?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
under a permit, right? So you'd be testing and discharge to meet the permit.
Exactly. So it would be done under the existing statewide general permit.
And who gets all that paperwork, like all those test results? Do we get any of that?
That gets reported to the state. That's like
So
monthly
it's public data.
uploaded, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
Uh,
Do I get a
Hold on,
choice?
hold on. Kurt, go ahead.
Chris, just for clarification from me, would you indulge me, because some of the voices are echoey and it's hard to hear remotely. What was the contaminant that was in the soil?
Sure, good question. I don't think I hit on it. It's PCB impacts as well as there's metals and there's a handful of contaminants that they're after. But this work is PCB focused primarily.
Okay, and you said that the work would be completed by when?
We're targeting late summer and early fall.
And someone else may have said something. Are there plans to do something with the property or tear down the mill or anything like that?
Sorry, I just wanted to follow back on your earlier question. I mean, it's in the packet itself submitted to it, but there are a handful of contaminants noted in there, VOCs, SVOCs, PCBs. And as far as the site-wide plans, I mean, that's sort of beyond this current scope. I think there's certainly a lot of conversations. I think a lot of folks in the town may be aware, but it's, I think probably the best I can say on that is it's under design and discussion at this point still.
Okay, good. It was just it's an interesting property. It's historic and it would be neat if something like what happened over in Windsor Locks happens over here.
We shall see.
I have a question. Is there any mercury in that?
I didn't really dive into that.
They need boron. They need boron there. I worked up in there.
Is that right? Yeah.
Needles in the boron.
That one is beyond me. I know that the engineer said this needs to come out, and so
Yeah.
that's why they
Yeah,
sent
that
us
was quite a place.
wetland folks then. Yeah.
Quite a fire too.
Yes.
What was this?
Quite a fire.
Oh,
Mill
fire.
burn. When the mill burned.
Yeah.
Want to make a motion, Dick?
I guess I should. Yeah. Move to approve with standard conditions, the application of Hamlin Sunstrand Corporation for remedial excavation activities to remove impacted soils noted during previous investigations at the PCSA 4 and PCSA 8 areas on site. Excavations are confined to the upland review area at property located at 8 Mill Street, Broadbrook, Connecticut.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor?
Aye.
I
I
Aye.
Aye.
We're all set. Thank you
Sure.
very much, Chris.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too. All right, nobody has come in for that 298 South Main, so do you want to talk about it now?
I can talk about it.
And is it to be received or is it actually new business?
It's to be received, but often things get pulled up as new business. They are before planning and zoning
Okay,
as well, they submitted there. So 298 South Main Street is, there's a large set of maps down there if you want to take a peek. It is a vacant lot and it's proposed to be used for automobile sales and repair. It's in the upland review, but it's there down on South Main Street where it drops off the embankment down to the floodplain. So the site itself has upland review. So the concern about stormwater discharge, I think, is the primary concern for the commission. Town engineer has asked for additional information on the drainage calculations as well as he's voiced some concern over the level spreader in that area and the need for test pitting in the event that it is fill material. You know, to make sure, because they're proposing infiltration galleys designed to a 100-year storm, and the overflow would go to a discharge to a level spreader. And so there's conversations back and forth with the town engineer. Okay, on that happening now.
That's a very erodible soil along those banks.
Highly.
Yes.
So that's why I didn't do the agent decision on my own. I thought
Yeah.
you would
You
want to
get a
hear.
gold star for that one.
Come in and say, I said yes to
The,
that.
The other thing I'll tell you is gonna come right up is my favorite. That work needs to be done during the dry season, it has to be seeded. So they might as well put it right on the plan. If they're
Okay.
not gonna, it's not gonna finalize it tonight. Because
Mhm.
Some of that
Rick
is
said it.
South Windsor.
just a
Well,
sketch.
it's right on the, it's right on
Right
the
on the
South
line.
Windsor line. We've heard from their town planner and environmental planner.
Into South Windsor. Like, that's it.
The environmental planner there, Jeff, I can't remember his last name. He also suggested test pitting
Okay.
for the galleys and,
Anybody that does those without test pitting
Yeah.
is just looking for trouble.
Yep. and then there are other concerns. There's residents on both sides of the
Yes.
parcel, so the need for screening.
And is it
gas
already
planting.
zoned for commercial or?
It's a B.
Okay.
Yeah. Zone
So it's an
property,
allowed,
sorry.
it's an allowed use. It's a
Okay.
small lot.
Yeah, it
It's a
is.
tough-
Yeah.
It's a
Very
tough
small.
lot, yeah. So that's where we're at.
They were gonna
There-
build a restaurant there. weren't
Yeah, yeah.
they? Way back. Yeah.
But this was kicked up
So
4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
edits to the map come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Are there any other comments for edits and enhancements to be made? Other ones we've already noted. Anything else?
We,
I wonder if there's any other feasible places to put that.
What do you say?
I guess the level spreader. Is a good job.
Yeah.
This is what it's at.
So I would add that it's been submitted as a standard application. And I did write up the memo
Yeah.
as it could be an agent decision as a draft. I just, just putting it out there that it has been submitted as a standard application.
That's it. And we want to accept it tonight. We'll wait for revisions to come back. Right.
Well, we can accept the
Well, We
application.
just kind of delivered.
Yeah, but the clock starts
If
running.
you-
on now,
we
right?
accept it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, it's interesting.
If we don't accept it tonight, the clock doesn't start running on them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's fine.
Is that true?
They want to hear if they've been here and requested it, I'd say, yeah, we'll accept.
At the next regular schedule.
See, the way we've always done it, and I think we've questioned recently, if that's really the way it's supposed to be done, but the way it was always done was that we accepted it, let's say this meeting, and then actually heard the application the next.
No, well,
meeting.
you can't act on it now anyway, right? 15
No.
days if you were, right?
No, they think it's planning and zoning. Yeah, we've never had any,
Wetlands you can accept, you have to wait for the petition time to run.
oh, okay, so,
Right.
and that's why we've done it like that.
Yeah.
And so we still have to continue. There's not even.
Yep.
And I think if we've questioned, or at least that question, and because I've seen it done differently over the years, like, what are we actually accepting? Like, we've not accepted a lot of times when there just wasn't everything in the packet. you
Right.
know, So,
Incomplete.
and not really commenting whatsoever on
Well, you're right.
the merits of it.
With what, plenty, there's no test
Well, it
hole
can be a
data for
complete
the.
application and you're waiting for review comments.
Oh, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think it's got all the pieces and parts.
Yeah.
Even if it is a kind of a work in progress, but we've had them come to us like, there was no map yet, or, you know, it's like, there was no application, or something like that.
What do we want to do? Do we want to accept it tonight and then wait for revisions for the next meeting or just hold off completely?
Well, the only thing is if we don't Yeah, I rather, at this stage, is a little bit of, I mean, those test holes are serious.
Okay, I'm happy to wait, I think. That way we don't start the clock or anything.
Shouldn't they be coming in to present
Mhm.
as an application?
They were supposed to be, but they didn't show up tonight, so.
Well, then that's good.
No, that's, the only thing is we would be putting them another month behind because we can't accept it till our next meeting. Unless we call a special meeting, which I don't think that's gonna
I
happen.
don't think we need to anyway. Okay,
We just don't wanna,
we need to make a
Well, they can know
motion.
about the test holes.
oh, but one of these comments are definitely gonna have to be addressed before we go.
I think you're gonna have to make a motion not to. I don't, like, I'm confused at why you wouldn't accept it.
Right, no, I would think that we would accept it.
Let the clock start.
Right, and
Get his.
if
ducks in
he
order.
was supposed to be here and he's not, that's neither here nor there for us. And you can always ask for an extension, which we, have always granted unless there was a reason not to.
Well, because we, it was kind of an agent's decision, but then you did decide and turned over, so maybe we should
Well-
accept.
It's a standard application. He did not apply for an agent decision.
I don't think you should on something like this. That's a little much.
Once I see all that pavement, I'm like, no.
Gets puts the agent in bad light too, really.
Alan, do you want to make a motion then? And
Are we gonna accept that?
So, then we'll vote.
Well, depends how we vote. We can make a motion.
correct one.
Oh, I think they were talking about that. All right, make a motion that we accept the application IWWA 0-03-2_298 South Main Street. Applicant Arvin pursued construction of a 1,500 square foot building and parking for automated sales and repair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in
Um,
favor?
Oh, discussion?
Yeah, go ahead, Kurt.
No, this, the choices between accepting it right now or putting it off.
Correct, yeah, just to receive it.
Because I was just reading, I was just going through the training on the second, the IWW training, and they said that you can postpone it if the person isn't around or he needs further clarification or anything like that. And with this, it just seems to, I would have a question as to what's going on, but because I don't see anything, I think maybe I'll vote neutral and and there's a majority there, so that would be what I would do.
And this is just to receive it too, not to let them go forward. This is just to receive it and then we can have those discussions and he can make revisions to the map based on Len Norton's comments. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Rebecca, may I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Peg.
Are you accepting it as a regular application or an agent decision?
Standard application.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, any further discussion? All of those in favor?
All right.
Like,
Osborne opposes. Motion passes, so we have received it, so let him know that we've had discussions on it. And to come
So
for
time is running out and.
April meeting.
Until how many? April?
No, I'm just saying, he'll
We have
come
2
back.
meetings, 65 days.
Yeah,
65 days.
yeah, I'm saying he'll come in April and hopefully talk to
and
us.
then if he
And if it doesn't,
needs more time, he can always ask for an extension at the end.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, where he's gonna get home, he'll have to either withdraw from PCC until it's settled here,
Okay,
you know,
yep,
ask them for an extension.
Yeah, so they typically come here first,
Yeah,
so they don't get hung up
He
there.
was surprised when we told him, he had already submitted to PCC when we said.
See, the only thing else you heard
Yeah.
is, you can't really go to planning and zoning until we approve it.
right,
So
regardless,
that's
yeah.
why I brought that up with the clock as well, because that
Mhm.
puts them another
Yep.
month behind.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll be in touch with him.
Okay, so that is the rest of the new business application received. We have no old business. Moving on to miscellaneous, to appoint Danielle Miller as East Windsor Wetlands agent.
And you
wanna
could say
anything?
additional, you could say, it. I would like her to speak too, introduce herself to the group. Just want to make that notion for zoning enforcement, we said additional, so that we can back each
Okay.
other up and it doesn't undo anything I've started.
I think also to clarify too, from our last meeting, you are now the town planner as well, so that's why we're trying to
Yes,
transition.
yes.
Condolences. I told her that.
Well, that's why I have added a crackerjack to my team.
Would you like to introduce
We're
yourself?
only
Danielle?
concerned with appointing her as an agent,
Huh?
right? We're only concerned with appointing an agent.
Yeah, but let her introduce herself and.
I'm Danielle Miller. I came up here from New Orleans, where I was a planner for the city of Gretna, which is right over the river, across the river from New Orleans, for 4 years. And I started getting more and more into environmental planning. I was nationally certified by EnviroCert for green infrastructure practices. That got me more interested. And then when I came up here, I found out how Connecticut is so concerned with wetlands and watercourse. I love that. I got my deep certification for the Inland Watercourse Wetlands Agency training. I got the deep certification for the aquifer protection areas. I'm looking forward to getting more. So I'm very excited to work here and learn everything I can about the area and just, yeah, really hone in on this.
And a town resident.
And a town resident,
Oh,
yes.
that's even
I'm
better.
warehouse point, so yeah.
Not down the big city.
Yeah.
You got a road named after you too.
Well, it's very nice to meet you.
Yeah, well, where'd you come
Danielle.
from? We got a dry land commission because they don't have much of it.
Kurt has something.
Say Kurt has a question for you.
No, I just missed the city that you had worked in.
I worked in Gretna, it's directly across the river from New Orleans. I could see where I parked my street. I wish they had a ferry. It would have been a lot faster to get to work, but yeah, it's a very small city. It's about, well, it's only 4.5 square miles, and the residents, there's about 19,000 residents, so it was very dense, very historical. The Historic Commission ruled that city.
What state
but-
was it in?
Louisiana, right across from New
Oh,
Orleans.
Gretna, Louisiana. Okay.
Yeah, there's a Gretna,
Okay,
Nebraska
near New
too.
Orleans, yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, so we have a whole lot of wetlands and swamps there, but there surprisingly wasn't a lot of
They're more concerned with
planning
being underwater.
Yeah. We were more concerned when it rained on a Tuesday that it would float away.
Only when the river comes up.
Yeah.
Well, I would entertain a motion to appoint Danielle as a wetlands agent
Okay,
to assist Ruth.
I'll second that.
well, you made it.
No, I'm not making the motion.
I'll make it.
And
You
she's
gonna
gonna
make
make
it
the
or
motion.
what?
Oh, I thought, no, make the motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion to appoint Danielle Miller as East Windsor's wetlands agent.
Second.
I'll second it.
All right, all of those in favor?
Got triple I.
Aye.
All right, well,
Okay,
we
you gonna
look
take it
forward
from
to
here?
working with you.
We got it on
Just
something
pass it
more
that
now.
easy.
All right, moving on, we have agent reviews and decisions. We have 4 of them, so we'll go in order of IWWA 1-2022 for 106 Norton Road to relocate the garage.
This one I issued, everyone, I'm taking these accessory structures.
Yeah.
This, these folks have been here before in relation to a deck that they were putting on. I had reported on issuing. And they are looking to relocate their garage back to accommodate a future addition and all in the upland review area. So it's fairly simple.
I'm trying to pull up to see if we had any, did we have a drawing or anything?
There's a small sketch on there.
Oh, I see it now.
Plot plan on it, or kind
PDF
of.
wasn't fast enough.
So I'm moving it from the side to the. there's one map that shows the well, the upland review area. Parcels.
Yep.
This garage is on that same property.
Yes,
Just moved.
they just moved.
Yeah, the address for the transaction.
Yeah, that's,
That's actually Justin Martin's house.
With Justin Martin.
Yeah.
No, I'm cutting the trees down in the back.
Yeah, I noticed it.
all right. So the next one, is everything else set with that one? Yeah. we can move to the next.
All right, so then the next one is Reve
Excuse me
Road.
again, I apologize. Are you doing a motion on it or just no?
No, it's just an update.
Oh,
Okay.
Wetlands decision.
So the next one was 1-3 Reve Road, and this one had a previous agent decision when they put up, they cleared some brush. And now they're having issues there. They want to clear the brush and put up a fence because they're having a lot of catalytic converters being stolen. So just around the parking area, they're clearing brush so that they can install the fence.
They're not stumping anything. There's no trees there, right? It's just
No, just, it's all just kind of
grown over.
Yeah.
That's not around the pond.
No.
It's more towards Newbury Road.
Mhm.
Location here in Michigan.
Okay.
We did have that. Applications to be received by
Corner of
the
Newbury and,
What did I have?
the Hamilton one.
Oh,
I
That's why I
found
couldn't find
it.
it.
yeah, we have too many cooks in the kitchen at the moment.
It should
all I
be
can
street,
say
no,
about
that's not the
All right, so then the first one that we had made a motion to add was Don Grant.
John Grant, yeah. Okay, so I have handouts. Print it out. Information. I will put it on the screen.
This came to us, what, 2 years ago, right? 20,
They-
Well, last April, was one half of it.
okay.
And,
I remember this when it came to us for the state. Catch basin or whatever they added. Perfect.
Look what I did.
Right one.
So really it is the plans to put in that culvert, right? And swale. Drainage. When are they planning to do this, Don?
The best of my knowledge, we're gonna try to get this done this spring. I'm still pending approval by the state Department of Preservation people. They have all the information and they're doing their thing right now.
Okay,
And the USDA NRCS can't do any further planning on it until we've got all of our approvals
right.
at work. On the map there, the three, you've got those two. Those are blue, purple lines,
Yep.
and then there's another one that's a culvert going across Broadbrook Road, actually from my front yard across. So there's three culverts existing that all discharge in basically the same area.
Yeah.
The two state culverts are literally within arm's reach of each other. And when the state put in the culvert along Broadbrook Road there from the intersection going south a couple of years ago, they did put a little bit of riprap right there at the discharge, but only on their side of the line. And so of course, once that water runs off of their riprap, it's going onto my soil. And So all we're basically trying to do is add in a rock line waterway right in the area where those discharges are. And that will flow into a grass lined waterway that we'll be constructing, which is where the red outline is. And that's supposed to be discharging just outside of the state wetland off in the lower left corner there. But all this will involve is excavating some soil out of there to put in the rocks. We're gonna trim some tree branches, remove some brush, basically contour it so we can put in the grass waterway. I did have a hole in my culvert, which is the one furthest from the road coming down from the north. And we're gonna take some of the soil we get out of that there and put it back up in the hole where we've got a sinkhole there.
Yes, okay.
The pipe has been repaired, but we still have to fill the hole in, which I would have loved to have done this last summer. But as Dick Pippin has pointed out several times during this meeting, you need dry weather,
Yes, we did not have this last year.
which we haven't had since around the 4th of July. So I'm kind of surprised we were able to complete the other part of the project in that other field last year. It was a challenge. Looks pretty good.
Yep.
So,
Well, sounds good. Hopefully everything goes through with the state for that too. Sure it will.
I don't think there'll be, I mean, they had no problem with the other part of it.
Yeah.
Basically, they're considering this a structure,
Yeah,
so it has to be approved. And a little bit of riprap and a little bit of contouring is pretty acceptable for them, especially since we're trying to prevent erosion.
Yeah.
So.
all right. Moving on to the next one, or you still doing something?
Well, I was just wondering if there's any, you'd have to confer or anything like that. That makes it right.
I don't think so. If the state needs to say like, we're good, let us know and we can always write something.
But you can take care of it administratively.
Right, because it's an
Yeah.
agent decision, so just let us know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rebecca, that was Phil Grant.
That was Don
Yes.
Grant, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, next is Darren Andrews.
Yeah.
Information here.
Okay,
Um,
awesome.
Sorry for the late submissions, scrambling around trying to get everything ready for it. It's a piece of property that I am looking to purchase. And actually looking at 3, I came before you before.
Yes,
And so I'm looking to purchase 3 of them
okay,
and convert them back into one. And so it's 20, on the map here, it's lots 26, 28, and 30. And I want to build on the lot 26,
these three, okay, yep,
and I want to clear the section outlined in green there
okay,
for farmland.
yeah. Yeah, the green outline
Yeah.
is where he wants to do
You
the
can see
clearing.
green outlines there in front. It's got a very small.
Yeah,
So what kind of agriculture?
for farmland.
Okay,
It has some beef cows, some hay fields,
okay,
honeybees, stuff like that. Maybe
You can get
Garden.
a picture now on the page.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, honeybees. I grew up doing honeybees. My dad bee pollinator. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, up in Maine, blueberries, yeah.
Plenty of blueberries. up
Oh,
there.
yeah, up in the barren.
Depends on where you're going up there.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be stump removal too.
Stump removal, yes.
On the farm, I hope so.
It was logged, I don't know how many years ago, but it was logged at one point.
yeah. With the stump removal, does not have to be an application. What was with the stumps? I remember this from another permit and I can't.
Well, it's just that the stumping is, the clearing does not automatically mean stump, right? So it's like a separate
Right, but he wants to do something,
Right,
so.
it's just that we have, you know,
Yeah, we have to recognize it.
Oh, I see.
Right.
There has to be an application. for something.
Even if it's for agricultural purposes.
I think it's always got to be mentioned.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, that's one you have to look up. I'm not sure. That works.
As of right.
We had.
Great.
It was
There
farmland.
was the one over,
Wasn't tobacco
Yeah.
shed out there.
Yeah,
But
it
it's,
used to be.
we can
Slightly
we
more.
can determine whether it's as of right, in some
Yeah, there has
previous.
to be some way, what you're gonna do and stuff. That's two. But you're gonna just pile them up and leave.
Haven't hauled out.
them,
Yeah, we'll
all
leave 'em
out,
there.
yeah. And where they're going, see, that's.
So, and this is,
Yeah, I'd have
you know,
I had talked
this
to a guy
Don's
about
was
it.
an
As long
as
as he
of right.
doesn't dump them over a bank.
Yes.
well,
I know, I forgot that.
They should
I
have
thought it
all
was
the
under
way.
agent decisions. We have to
Yeah,
vote to
that's what I-
grant as of right. So sorry about that.
That's okay.
Wasn't paying
That's okay.
attention to where we were. Same with this one.
Okay, so I just want to, the following operations and uses shall be permitted in inland wetlands and watercourses with an as-of-right determination made by the agency. Grazing, farming, nurseries, gardening and harvesting of crops, and farm ponds 3 acres or less essential to the farming operation and activities conducted by or under the authority of the Department of Environmental Protection for purposes of wetlands or watercourse restoration enhancement or mosquito control. The provisions of this section shall not be construed to include road construction or the erection of buildings not directly related to the farming operation, relocation of a watercourse with continual flow, filling of wetlands or watercourses, or reclaiming of wetlands or reclamation of watercourses with continual flow, clear cutting of timber except for the expansion of agricultural cropland.
Except that means it can't.
Right, so in a previous case that you were mentioning, the board decided that there was not an agricultural use, the actual, so therefore stumping was not,
Oh, I see, okay.
and then we required the application. In this case,
In order to farm it, you have to take your stump.
You know.
right, but in that case, we didn't think that there was actual farming. It was just trying to be used as a.
Yep.
control. So in this case, I think we have that.
Correct, I agree with that.
You remember the way back, this was come up because of the stumping. They were trying to misconstrue it as filling because when you pull the stump out of the hole, it's a hole. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to bring it back up to the original elevation.
Well, this is just particularly,
Yeah.
all this is talking about is that's not an as of right unless it's an agricultural
If
situation.
it is an
Right.
agricultural situation,
Right, so that's.
and that includes pasture land.
Mhm. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be hayland or tobacco land or anything else.
It's agricultural.
It's gotta be agriculture.
You're gonna be filling in everything to make it level 2 or?
Not really, no.
I don't really know how it is back there.
Yeah, it's pretty flat,
Okay,
pretty level. So there's no standing water, but that area you see that's delineated as wetlands, it is, a little bit soft.
okay.
The only key is when you pop the stumps, there is gonna be a little bit of a hole.
Okay.
And you really don't wanna leave it. It's gonna ruin
No,
it.
no, yeah.
Especially there, you don't wanna leave it. You'll have farm pond everywhere. There was a stump.
That's true.
The definition, if you bring it back to the original grade, you don't raise the grade, that's not really filling.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Rebecca, could I ask for a street address?
Yes, we'll be building a
I
house.
had the numbers, but
So the parcels that he was referring to are 26, 28, and 30 Wells Road.
well, thank you.
You're welcome.
You are gonna build a house on there?
On the 26th, on the building lot there.
Oh, on that one.
That
Okay.
one. is the house.
Probably was all farmland.
I think it was.
It was
There was
like,
pictures floating around of it.
I was saying, I think we had talked about it
There was
last.
a picture
when
of the
this came
shed
to us.
sitting there, out there right about where the high ground is.
I think, yeah, I talked to Jay Russo and he said that there needs to be a lot of farmland.
Yes, he was definitely involved in that conversation.
Yeah.
Are you
Oh,
doing a lot line reconfiguration?
I am going to, yes.
Hold all together.
Yeah, he said the 26.
Okay.
Well, that'll give him his farm by acreage wise.
Yeah, that'll help with the acreage. Were there any other questions from members of the board? So what motion do we need to make as of right? You can have the right motion.
Right, so we need to make a motion that there's a positive finding of Nazareth, right?
Would you like to make a motion?
Probably should.
This is an added agenda item, so we don't
Oh,
have a
so-
number to it.
Yeah, that's the problem. We don't have a number.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the finding of as of right determination for 28 Wells Road, East Windsor, Connecticut, map 125, block 24, lot 025, for clearing of trees, clearing of land, a 14.65 acre section for pasture, hayfield, and gardening.
You got it all.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, for seconds, any further discussion?
Did you know the stumping in there is permitted also?
I don't think there's a need.
Okay.
It's the agriculture.
If you don't think there's a
Agricultural
need, fine.
Good, good.
As long as somebody doesn't come back and don't chase them,
Yeah.
All right.
good luck.
All
All right,
those in
thank you.
favor?
Aye.
Are you an aye or an nay?
Oh, it's nine.
Okay. We want to take a step back and make the motion for the as of right for grant as well. Did we have?
Make a motion that we trying to figure out how to say this correctly, but for a positive determination of as of right for Don Grant for a grass waterway and drainage work on, let me say, 120 Broadbrook Road.
Yes.
Second.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
That's his brother, not his sponsor.
It does say East
His
Windsor.
mail address.
We're always sponsored. All right, so that one is also all set.
He's Melrose. Melrose. They have their own post office.
That's right.
Moving on to violations for a status update on 232 South Main Street, the soil study.
The soil study. It's underway.
Okay, perfect.
Started this week, it's underway. They're gonna finish up the site work for the trenching tomorrow. They're closing them all, so you can't go out there and see a bunch of.
Okay.
But they're confirming initial assessments from the site walk. And they'll get enough information to delineate the impact.
Okay,
And enough information to develop a restoration plan, but that's the next phase.
Okay, sounds good. Glad things are moving forward with that one. Conference seminars and trainings, the deep inland wetlands training available online. That is up there. I'm pretty sure it came out, what, January or something?
I think Danielle might have done it. The day it came out.
I did. Yep. So that's up there.
Yeah, it was, really was.
Kurt, I think you said you were looking at that too, right?
yeah, I got,
Refreshing
I
myself.
got waylaid because I was sick, but I just passed 2 of the 8 modules.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I like Alan, I could definitely use a refresher, but things are a little busy right now, so we'll get back to it eventually. Are there any correspondence? We don't have anything there. I'm just asking.
No, but I'd like to just add that the additional riprap was put in down at 247 South Water behind 12 South Main, where the where the big warehouse is now,
Okay,
where they have the outfall. what was-
yes.
They did get down there a couple weeks ago and get that riprap put in.
Okay.
Stabilized.
Cool. Any general board discussion?
Yeah, actually, that you just remember with that, it reminded me of something I've been mentioning, meaning to just email you guys in the office, but was wondering if we've taken a look at kind of any of the open permits to make sure that the silt fence and erosion controls have made it through the winter. Like specifically, like I know you guys have been short-staffed and half out and whatnot, but it's kind of 'tis the season.
Yes.
Like the Newberry Road one.
We're
is
just walking
super,
that
super
site
wet.
today.
Oh, really? Good.
We were, go take a look at that and we will be talking to Scott Coda about that.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's, I think this time of year where
It's very wet.
It's the
That wet
soils
meadow
there.
is
it's super wet. Yeah. So
The other thing we did was drive through Newberry Village. 'cause they
I've
will
been
start
meaning to do that too.
So they're finishing up, what is that, Morning Doug, Karen?
Morning Dove Trail.
Yeah.
And what did they have? How many houses?
They've got, I think 5 up for
Five.
permits.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it looked good in there. They did take a lot of those trees that they had dropped
yep,
out, so it looked a lot better. You know,
I haven't driven through there
A
since.
little
then.
stark in some places, but better than the trees laying around.
Yep,
And then we went up to West River
okay,
and they are moving some earth
yeah,
back there in the next phase. So that's the other one we need to circle.
Yeah,
back.
it's trailing down the
We
back.
did a little tour. Yeah, they've done their loop road to come out.
okay. Yeah, I remember at one point there was a lot of sand coming down the road and people were complaining about that.
Yes, well, it looks like they have at least 4 houses under construction right now, right in the main drag, and then they're up moving earth beyond that cul-de-sac. up on the
Okay.
hill. So, yeah, we were touring around to see.
cool. That's
Did anybody get over Skylark Airport?
No,
Did a bunch of clearing, yeah.
They're doing a bunch of clearing there,
it's not just clearing, they have a bunch of piles of material there too, don't they?
I guess. I
Yeah.
didn't drive in, but I
Over on the
mean,
west end.
it took them,
Skylark.
taking the north side of the airport, all the trees down and bulldozed. I don't know whether to widen the runway or what to do.
Yeah.
Well, they just repaved it.
No, this is to the north of the
Yeah,
Hayes area
okay.
and the grass area. And there's another.
Private airport, right?
Something that
So
might be
that
helpful,
can break up our long Thursday.
something that might be helpful for us, just kind of keeping us fresh on things that are open. If we get a report once a month, every other month, once a quarter, to see what applications are still open.
Open and active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might be helpful for us. What do you think?
I don't think there was any application of Skylar. I
No.
they-
Yeah, there's
No,
no
yeah, not
application
at
there. That
Skylar.
would be a
I'm just
violation.
saying in general.
Yeah.
And I think they built a hangar there. Since.
We might
I think
wanna
you're
look
right.
into that.
Huh?
I think you're right.
I think they-
That would be planning and zoning.
I don't see how they.
And
did
the building
that because
official
it's
and-
all
Is
wetlands.
it like, it's every single department.
Whatever came out of the one over on Bryce Road, what the,
All I know is the address. This point, Rand went on an investigation of it and he gave me the address because it was,
because I can't remember whatever came from that.
right now, I need to inquire. And I will also. Was Rand?
I think it's 37. I have my numbers right.
Yeah, because initially we thought it was right up that.
Right, yeah, definitely.
I haven't. I'll stick this on.
So as long as it's still being looked at and worked on. Yep, okay.
Yep, and I will bring the acting, we have support in the building. department,
Okay,
So we'll pull them into it as well.
okay, thank you. Any other board discussion?
37.
All right, hearing none. Is there any public participation?
Again.
Hearing none, do we have anything for our executive session? Nope, all right, we can skip that, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
All in favor? 8:04. Thank you, everybody.
Aye.
Thank you, Kurt.